Welcome back to another episode of Reality Hits Matt. I'm your host, Michelle.
And I'm Matt.
This is a podcast where I watch reality TV and my husband reacts. Today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And before we get into today's episode and Matt's recap, we just wanted to make a quick announcement. So on April 6th, the Unwell Winter Games are going to be airing on YouTube, which is Alex Cooper's Winter Games with a bunch of different reality TV stars, including Dakota and Demi from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So we will be recapping those, just quick 20-minute episodes. It's going to be 4 episodes total, so it'll only be the next 4 weeks, and then we'll see what goes from there. So that will be coming out here soon.
I have no idea what you just said. I don't know anything about this. More to come on that. Anyway, let me give a quick recap of Season 2, Episode 1. We started a new season last week. You were telling me about it. The intro was chaotic.
Yes.
Just boom, boom, back and forth, praying, shouting, just a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on.
And then I guess we get into the episode, and the girls are at an influencer event. I can't remember the name. It was a woman's name.
It was a Gracie Luke Pillows event.
Cowboy Pillows event. So all the Secret Lives girls were there, the Mom Talk girls, and then Whitney showed up too.
Yes.
She's not part of Mom Talk anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently. She left the group chat, but she did show up because it was for influencers. She still has a following. She's TikTok famous, I guess. Still has brand deals.
Yes.
There for all of that. There was a mechanical bull involved, and all the girls were getting on that. And then I guess Whitney had got on there. 8 months pregnant, by the way. Whitney's 8 months pregnant to start Season 2.
Yeah.
So it was just a photo op. Obviously, it wasn't going. She just got up there, sat on it, got her photo taken. Other things happening last episode. We learn about Jen and Zach. At the end of Season 1, they were in New York.
Yeah.
Zach was like, you don't need the Mom Talk girls. You're not going to miss them. And she's like, well, I am. And she just was miserable. So they didn't stay in New York. They apparently moved to Arizona. That's where Zach got into medical school. But now they're separated. So Zach is living in a house that they own in Arizona. And Jen is staying in an Airbnb.
In Utah.
And he comes over in this episode, brings flowers and is trying to move in, and she's kind of standing firm on we need to work on a relationship and figure this out.
Right.
Okay. What else do we have going on? There was a lot going on. We had Jenna, right. At the end of Season 1, Dakota watched Season 1, we learned last episode, and kind of came out to Taylor explaining the Jenna situation because he was kind of caught at this point. So he was trying to get ahead of it, I think. Told Taylor everything.
Yeah.
Everything that he wanted to tell her. Yeah, everything. And Taylor has this whole timeline, everything he said, everything they did, all of this. Now she's going to get Jenna's side of the story. Jenna comes over. Taylor goes to Jenna's.
They both go to Macy's.
They go to Macy's. Not the most important details, but they're together.
Yes.
And Jenna is telling Taylor everything.
Yes.
And apparently there are text messages that Jenna is showing Taylor that she had never seen because Dakota deleted them. They went to the dinosaur museum. Sound like a great time. So Taylor is pissed.
Yes.
Taylor is done with Dakota.
Right.
Because she was like, if everything aligns that he's told me, and he told me the truth after already getting caught, so he wasn't telling the truth. Now has a chance to tell the truth about when he wasn't telling the truth, but now he's still not telling the truth, so Taylor's done with him.
Yeah.
All right. Also in the episode, we get a new girl, Miranda.
Yes.
Now, Miranda, I'm told, is OG Mom Talk.
Yeah.
From before the 8 girls that we started Season 1 with. There was the previous Mom Talk girls, and then there was the swinging scandal and all that. And Miranda was wrapped up in the swinging scandal. Miranda's husband at the time, now ex-husband, and Taylor and her husband at the time, now ex-husband, were swinging. And Miranda's husband was starting to get some feelings for Taylor.
According to Taylor, yeah.
And things kind of went south from there. Now, Miranda comes along. She is recently divorced, single mom, wants to get back with the Secret Lives girls and the Mom Talk crew for support, being a single mom, recently divorced. Yes. That's what we get from her.
Yes.
Now, some of the girls are questioning this. After season 1, they blew up. Mom Talk's doing great. There's a reality TV show now. They think she's just here to try and get famous and get some money.
Yeah.
And they're questioning her. Demi was pressing her on the swinging scandal and all that, and she had said that all she did was play spin the bottle and make out with people. But Taylor all along has been telling a different story. And the girls believe Taylor.
Yes. Yeah. And Taylor's upset and thinks that anyone coming in and calling her a liar puts her relationship with the girls at jeopardy. Her
friendship and relationship with all the people she's been around for a long time. Sorry. So we got that.
We got that going on.
We got that going on. I'm trying to think, was there anything else before the end where Miranda holds the happy hour?
There's a couple small things. So Jen and Zach try ketamine therapy.
The ketamine therapy.
And Jen, after ketamine, really wants Zach to talk to Jessi and Demi. So we see that play out this coming episode.
Right, because he said that their marriages were terrible.
Yeah.
And it was really just him, trying to make up for his own shortcomings and terribleness.
Right.
And then there's a voice message or something where he basically tries to apologize, but he's like, it's terrible. It's just him turning things around and making him sound like the victim. Typical Zach.
The message that we got to hear that Jessi played for the girls that we heard in the episode was Zach saying, "I'm sorry I said everything, but those texts were never supposed to be seen or heard by anyone besides my wife, so
I meant what I said in those texts.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I got caught."
Yeah. And we see that play out a little bit more.
Okay.
And then just kind of like Whitney didn't play a huge role, but her and Miranda seem to be kind of forming this friendship because they're both kind of on the outs with the girls.
Right. Were they friends previously?
Yeah. So Miranda is the one that invited Whitney into the OG.
Oh,
TikTok,
she brought Whitney in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was Taylor, Miranda, and then Miranda invited Whitney in.
Okay.
And then it was a couple other girls, but that core was the original, but it really started with Miranda and Taylor.
Okay.
So you can kind of see where Whitney has that alliance with Miranda, and so I'm sure she probably thinks that she owes Miranda part of her success.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then anything else before the end?
I don't think so.
I think I covered most of it.
A little bit of Taylor's mom here and there, but that gets more in depth here, but no.
Oh, Taylor's mom had a lot of work done.
Yeah. Well, the bigger thing is her pushing Dakota and Taylor's relationship.
Oh, right. She's like, what are you going to do if he leaves? He needs to go. You can't, look at him as a crutch for her.
She is not a big proponent of just giving up.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, then we get to Miranda's house. She's throwing a happy hour for all the girls to get to know everybody again, rejoin the group.
Yeah.
And it sounds like everybody was kind of making fun of her and trying too hard and all that. And then when Taylor gets there, is it Macy or Michaela? Somebody's like, there's a conversation that needs to be had.
It was either Macy or Michaela.
They kind of push the whole, which is weird. You're at Miranda's house, but then you're all gonna kind of gang up on her.
Yeah, but the point was, and even Miranda before said there has to be this awkward conversation. I have to get in the good graces of Mom Talk. So she knew that was coming, and that's the reason why she invited Whitney, was because she wanted someone on her side when it happened.
Okay, so they start having this conversation. I don't really remember what all was said, but
really,
I know the one thing that sticks in my mind was at the very end, I guess it cut to an interview with Taylor, and she's saying basically that Miranda is lying and that it's jeopardizing her friendship with the girls, because whatever she's saying, she's lying through her teeth. I think was the kind of the end of the episode.
Well, the conversation leading up to that moment of Taylor being like, she's lying, was kind of eye-opening in the sense of Taylor saying, like, I think the girls forget that I was also a villain in the story because she did cross the line with her husband, like Miranda's husband, and she did go around. So the story is that Taylor had a sex dream about Chase, Miranda's ex-husband. She told Chase that. Chase then approached her a couple weeks later in the gym and, according to Taylor, told Taylor that he had feelings for her. And instead of Taylor going to Miranda to be like, your husband told me he has feelings for me, she just went to everyone else and told all of their friends that he said that. And so Miranda feels betrayed by Taylor because she didn't come to her as a friend, because they were best friends, they were like sisters, and instead she's going around and spreading all these rumors about her husband, and so Miranda feels betrayed by Taylor. So
okay, this is a lot. We didn't talk about this last week.
We get more into this episode. There's comments that were made.
To be known that I didn't leave this out of my recap. I never heard about this.
So it goes into more detail, but Taylor basically in that conversation made comments to allude to, like, I wasn't perfect in that scenario.
Okay.
I did things to Miranda. And then Miranda ends the conversation with, well, all I did was kiss, when they asked her. And then that's when Taylor said, don't lie, because you didn't just kiss. But yes, I did more things that I understand I was wrong in that scenario. Right. So, that was kind of like
giving me all this extra information, like I'm giving a bad recap here. And
I
thought I recapped last week.
It goes way more into it this episode, but there were those comments where Taylor was admitting to being wrong.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 2.
So we start off at Miranda's happy hour.
Hold on a second.
Oh, it's called The Book of Accountability.
Thank you. And I'm holding you accountable, like you said last week.
Yeah, hold me accountable.
If you don't give me the book name, I gotta keep you to it.
The Book of Accountability.
All right, now you can get to it.
Thank you. Thank you for holding me accountable.
Thank you.
So it starts off where we left off at Miranda's happy hour, and the girls are asking Miranda the intention of being invited and the reason of her to rejoin Mom Talk. Miranda says that she wants to put the past behind her and move forward, and Michaela says it's convenient timing, and Taylor chimes in and says, long story short, why now? And then Miranda explains that she left because she really wanted to work on her marriage, but now that that's over, she's ready to own up to things. Macy says that they're all having a hard time believing or accepting Miranda and her answers, because at the time of the swinging scandal, Miranda and her ex Chase denied everything and tried to make Taylor to look like the villain.
Oh, okay.
Macy thinks that she's just coming back because she knows how well Mom Talk is doing. So that's what we're saying. Yeah,
right.
Michaela says she doesn't have any intention of them hanging out on the weekend. So in this group setting, like, Michaela is saying, like, I don't think I can ever move past this, and like, I don't have the intention of being friends with you, and I don't want to hang out with you on the weekends.
Okay.
And Whitney chimes in and says that she believes Miranda and trusts her intention. So this is where you can kind of see where Whitney kind of probably has this, like, almost like obligation she feels to Miranda.
Miranda kind of brought her in, made her what she was.
Right.
So.
And she also has seen the toxicity of the group / experienced that in her own way,
right,
that she's needed to take space from the group, but then been judged for taking space from the group.
Right.
I think Whitney really sees a lot in Miranda of what she's experienced in a different way, not the swinging scandal.
Yeah.
Michaela says not a single part of her cares what Whitney has to say, and she's not even a part of the group, and she would just like if Whitney and Miranda could go become friends and leave them all alone. And then she like ends her interview with saying, but a girl can dream. So Michaela just really wants them to ride off into the sunset together and just leave them alone.
Right. Just fuck off. Go be friends together. Leave Mom Talk alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whitney left the group chat. Miranda, you're not welcome back.
Right.
See you later.
Miranda says she wasn't ready to own anything at the time, and the reason she didn't even admit to the kissing aspect of it is she's like, it was just like really weird. Like, it's still weird to say that we did that. It's weird that we did that.
Right.
I wasn't ready to own it. I was trying to work on our marriage because that was falling apart. And later on, we hear from her ex-husband where his family's very religious. So
okay.
he hadn't even told them that he left the church. So like there was a lot personally going on for them. So they just like weren't ready to have the world know their shit. So they went on the defensive and denied it, which that makes Taylor look crazy, but it's, they're trying to navigate their life.
Is this part of why Taylor had like brought the whole swinging scandal out?
Because, the reason I know
making her look bad.
Yeah, so the reason I know that Taylor brought the swinging scandal out was because when her ex-husband filed for divorce, he told everyone that they were swingers, and that Taylor cheated on him. Or he just said Taylor cheated on me, and that's why I'm getting a divorce.
Right.
So then Taylor came out and said, yeah, I cheated on him because we were swingers, and I just took it.
Right, everybody.
I just took it one step too forward. So I think it was that her ex-husband was like, Taylor cheated on me, I'm getting a divorce, and then everyone's like, well, why did you cheat on your husband? And then she came out with all this. That's my understanding of what happened.
Okay.
So after Miranda says that she felt weird about talking about it, and she felt awkward with the church and family, and it was shameful and uncomfortable to bring up, Taylor says that she just felt abandoned by a sister figure, and that just left a lot of animosity towards Miranda, in Taylor's opinion. Taylor says that she felt like Miranda hates her because Miranda thinks that she led her ex-husband Chase on. So this is when we find out about the video, the dream and all of that.
Okay.
So Taylor supposedly had a sex dream about Chase and told him about it. And he later then approached Taylor at the gym and said that he was thinking about it and that he has feelings for her, but then she said she didn't reciprocate it.
Okay.
Taylor didn't think that a dream was a big deal compared to what they were doing on the weekends, which was like kissing and touching one another.
Okay.
So she was like, okay, I had a dream about you, whoop-de-doo. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Miranda then tells Taylor when she's admitting all this that just like her admission to the dream opened up the door for her ex-husband Chase to be more candid with Taylor and to tell her her feelings.
Okay.
Which then Miranda said she was hurt by Taylor when Taylor then went and told her whole friend group what Chase had said instead of coming to Miranda to talk about it.
Right.
So then after Miranda tells Taylor this, that she felt hurt that Taylor didn't come to her, Taylor does own up to that mistake, and she said, I was a bad friend in that moment. Taylor said she knew once she told Miranda she would lose a friend, and I think that's why she was afraid to tell her.
Okay.
Miranda breaks down crying and said that the moment she was going through such a hard time, and so she was 4 months postpartum when all this hit, and she was going through marriage issues, and then she also lost her best friend.
Right.
So she didn't want to tell Taylor how much she cared because she was so mad, so she didn't reach out to Taylor. She was like, I didn't want you to know how much I was hurting because of what you did, because I didn't want that getting out, like I was just in such a bad mental state.
Yeah.
Taylor does say in an interview that at the time they were so inexperienced, and I took that as more of like they were really young.
Right.
And so no conversations were had and the lines were blurred. So, when you're like young and like it's just like you don't talk things out with people.
Yeah.
So if they just had a conversation, like they probably could have personally worked this all out.
Yeah.
But it was just like a lot of emotion, basically.
It just sounds like a slippery slope to me. Like, first off, you're doing the whole swinging thing, and then there's the dream, and then there's feelings, and then there's hurt friendships. Like, it's just things are compounding, and it all obviously started with the swinging. Like,
absolutely.
Whether you're just kissing or whatever, like, it's gonna grow into like a shitstorm of issues.
It goes black and white to gray to like light gray to white. Like there's like like it just keeps getting blurred.
Yeah, it's
just messy.
Snowball effect.
Absolutely. She says that the girls have resentment. So Taylor, still in this interview, says that the girls probably have resentment towards Miranda because they all had Taylor's back.
Right.
She says that the girls don't know the extent of all the drama, and the girls forgot that she was also villain in the story.
Right.
So, sorry, yes, I was jumping ahead because I was getting the party blurred between the two people.
I definitely did not miss this on my recap unless I could see into the future.
We ended on that, and then we picked up here, so I didn't know where it ended.
One of those episodes, ends at the same place.
So I don't know what was said then and what was said here, but yeah.
That's fair. We'll let you go this time.
Thank you. Thanks for holding me accountable.
Yeah. Don't forget the book when we start episode 3.
Okay. So at the end of the interview, Taylor says that there's a convo that needs to be had between her and Miranda, which she said last episode, but without all the girls. And she says that will happen, and I'm really excited for that. Not excited, but I want that to happen, but is not the right time or place for us to hash out all
right in front of everybody. Yeah.
Demi says that she's proud of both of them to be able to sit in the same room and have this conversation. And Demi in an interview says she never considered how close Taylor and Miranda were before the fallout happened. And she understands why Miranda would miss that and feel like she's longing for a place. So I think Demi's kind of warming up to the idea of Miranda coming around as long as her and Taylor can work out whatever they need to work out.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which is the first time I've liked Demi in a long time, guys. So she wasn't terrible this episode. There's some stuff she does later that overall she was better this episode.
Okay, interesting.
Taylor says that she has become a lot softer. So in the group setting, she tells Miranda in front of the other girls, I've become a lot softer and more empathetic to other people. And she gives the example of Whitney as Whitney's sitting there. And she goes, Whitney, for example, after season 1 aired is kind of the context. She was destroyed by the media, and regardless of Whitney's decisions that she made, and Whitney was like, yeah. And she goes, being kicked while you're at your lowest point sucks. And I know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Whitney in an interview saying she's trying to make amends with all the girls and she can tell everyone's being cordial, but she's still not wanted. So having Taylor stick up for her means a lot for her. And she thinks that they're making baby steps to hopefully overcome this and be able to move past. So it gives her kind of this, hope.
Yeah. Okay.
So Taylor says that everyone keeps telling her Whitney hates her. So this is back in the group setting. And she goes, everyone keeps telling me that you hate me, but I don't even care because no one deserves treatment like that. And Whitney tells Taylor, I don't hate you.
Right.
And so it looks like they're kind of mending things. And all the other girls are like, what the fuck is going on? Because they want to hate her so bad.
Right.
And Taylor even ends her little speech as and I just want this whole room to know that.
Okay.
So she's kind of almost scolding the girls in a way of let's fucking move past this.
Right. Okay.
Jessi says she's still confused because she felt like she didn't get to the bottom of the swinging scandal. And in my opinion, I don't think you need to.
Right. Let's let
Taylor and Miranda figure that out. So she says Miranda skirted around the issue a lot. She says she's throwing a Halloween party next week and she thinks she needs to expand her guest list. She says that Miranda's ex-husband is now dating her best friend, so she's invited them all. And if they can all get them in the same room, they can see who's lying. Jessi, get the fuck out of here. Stop stirring the pot. Don't invite... So she invited Miranda, Taylor, Dakota, Miranda's ex, Trace, his new girlfriend. You've invited them all.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get all these people together.
We don't need all these people together. Yeah. This is a hot mess express about to happen.
And what's going on with Taylor and Dakota? Are they even talking?
No.
So why would you invite...
We'll get to that.
If Taylor's your friend, you invite Taylor. You don't invite Dakota.
Oh, yeah, no. Taylor's I don't know why the fuck she invited all these people into this party. This is going to be chaos. Later on, she's I can just see chaos written on the wall. Yeah. So she says that they'll be able to tell who's lying and who's not if they get them all in the same room.
Sure.
And then that ends the Miranda happy hour.
Okay.
So the intro plays, and then we go to, the boot barn. The boot barn in Nashville.
The store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're, in a store that has a bunch of, cowboy boots in it. And so Layla, Michaela, Jessi, and Demi are shopping for Halloween costumes, which I find hilarious because none of them end up dressing in, cowboy gear.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Anyway, that was just, something
There's really, a cowboy theme this season. We started it out with the cowboy...
Yeah.
The mechanical bull.
And they do say something I need something for some other event. So, maybe they're just shopping in general. But Layla says, I need to get an outfit. Layla ends up dressing like a Formula One racer. So, I don't know. I don't know what's happening in this. Anyway, they're at a boot barn, guys, to talk about this drama. So, Layla says that she got her body redone. So, it looks like she got her boobs bigger.
Okay.
And she can't wait to show it off. She also says that she's dating someone new. His name's Cameron. He was raised Mormon and his dad's a bishop, and they have been together for about 4 months.
Okay, wow.
So he's going to be at the party.
Nice.
Demi asks Michaela how Jen is doing, and Michaela tells the girls that Jen is saying Zach is planning to move back into the house for a trial period while they work things out because he is a changed man.
No, I doubt it, but okay. Let's keep moving on.
Michaela doesn't think that he can change that quickly. And Layla is skeptical. Jessi thinks that it can never be better than, like, so, like, as they're talking about this, and this is, like, the real main, like, juice of the scene. It's not a really big scene, but Jessi just thinks that it can never be better than ever based off where it's coming from because of when they hit as low as they did and what was said. So...
Right.
If Jen is saying, like, oh, it's been better than ever, how was your better than ever's before? Because you just hit, like, the lowest.
Yeah.
So all the girls in the scene are just talking about how skeptical it is about Jen and Zach's relationship.
Right.
That's kind of where we end off. All right, so this is the first scene I think we've seen where it's just been the guys.
Oh, okay.
So we have an all-male scene. So Dakota, Jordan, Zach, and Brett all go fishing together, like fly fishing.
Dakota, Jordan is Jessi's husband.
Yeah.
Zach is Jen's husband. Brett is Demi's husband.
Yes.
Whew.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I'm really proud of you. That was
They're
good.
fishing. All right, let's go.
So they're fly fishing and they're in like their waders and like they're in the river. So they're like really into it. Dakota says that being from Idaho, fly fishing is like therapy. He said that everything that's going on with Taylor, he just wanted to be with his friends and clear his head. So it seems like all these guys get along pretty well.
Okay.
Dakota tells the guys that he really screwed up and he can see why what he did hurt Taylor. And he said he feels for his son and that that's where most of this guilt I think is coming from, is that he thinks like he's ruining his relationship with his son at this point.
Right.
He said being a dad is the most important thing in his life right now, and he feels like he's losing that.
Okay.
Dakota says in an interview he's going to start showing Taylor that he wants to make things right and he wants to fix things and he was willing to do whatever it takes. And he says that he's thankful that Taylor's parents are still there for him. So it sounds like Jeremy and Leanne are like reaching out to him and they coordinate with him. And he said that Leanne has actually invited him to a barbecue at their house this weekend. And it cuts to a scene where Leanne is inviting Dakota to dinner, and then Jeremy, her stepdad, is like, "You're coming, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, you better, I'm coming." He's like, "Okay, that's right, you pussy." And so, like, I don't know. It seems like they have an all right relationship with Dakota.
Is Taylor going to be there?
Yes.
Okay, I was curious. Like,
it's a
hanging out
whole
with him.
family event that we're going to get to in, like, a little bit.
Okay, all right.
So then Jordan asks Zach if he just moved back and how he's liking it so far. Zach tells the guys that it's been good and that him and Jen have been going to ketamine therapy together.
Still doing the ketamine therapy.
It sounds like it's like been like an ongoing thing.
Okay, interesting.
He admits to the guys that what he did was wrong with the whole Chippendales thing and he has to live with the repercussions of that in his life. And Zach tells the guys that he's not currently going to church, even though Jen wants them to be going to church.
Interesting.
So his opinion is that, and he tells them he doesn't feel accepted at the church and he's embarrassed after the season 1 airing.
Okay.
And he said that they even had some nasty interactions at the church, and Dakota says that he's been through the same thing and even got death threats from women.
Wow.
And Zach said that he's gotten at least 50 to 100 messages telling him that he deserves to die, or that if they saw him in person, they would try to kill him.
Okay, that's pretty terrible.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
Zach's a terrible person, but I don't think he deserves that.
No one deserves that, right? Like, you don't deserve to be told, like, you should die. Like, it... You know, you need to go work on yourself. Like,
well, and speaking of the church, that was one of the things I didn't get in my recap, but we talked about it last week, was the church after season 1, they had put out some statements and stuff trying to cover kind of their asses on what was being said in season 1 to try and get ahead of season 2 coming out.
Yeah.
And interesting.
I will say, as much hate as that gets, especially from the season 4 premiere, which we're not there yet, Matt does not know anything about. I will say that it seems like him taking a break from the church actually helped his personality in this episode.
Okay.
So I don't know if he goes back to church after this and then it gets worse, but he seemed a lot more down to earth, and I don't know if that's just he like learned from watching himself last season what to say,
yeah.
or to me, because some of it is him confronting his wife and her friends at the same time, he is actually trying to work things out in a reasonable way. So I don't know what I have an opinion on yet with Zach in this moment. Throughout this episode, I saw better trends than last season.
Right. Also, but him watching himself in season 1 could be him then covering his bad attributes for the public to see as well.
It could, and you do see that. We'll get to that. We'll talk more about this.
All right.
We'll talk more about this later.
Let's move on.
Okay. So Zach in an interview says that he likes all the husband, and it's nice that they can just all go and get together and talk about their shared experiences. They all have wives in this crazy kind of industry, let's call it, of like being influencers. So he's just really enjoying this time with the guys. He does say that Jen still wants him to meet with Demi and Jessi.
Oh, right.
And for the sake of supporting Jen, he will do that, but he's not sure how that's going to shake out.
She wanted him to go like right after ketamine therapy.
Yes. And
episode.
So then it cuts to the coffee shop of them all meeting up. So let's get into that a little bit, because Demi and Jessi are driving to meet Zach at the coffee shop so they can talk. And Jessi says that she has never gone up against a husband before. And she says, give me Whitney all day, every day. But like, I'm nervous about
Come
this.
on.
Right? It's so much with the Whitney hate. Like, it's like, let's just focus on this drama. This is new drama. I want to see this drama. Whitney isn't even in this episode because she's 2 days away from her due date. Anyway, in that moment, they say Jen said Zach wanted to meet up with us after ketamine. And so they made a comment like maybe he was like in the right mindset. Jen wanted them to meet up.
Right. Okay.
Zach didn't come out of ketamine and say, I want to meet up with your friends and I feel bad. So Jen's already spinning this narrative that Zach wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Zach's doing it because Jen's asking him to, because he's trying to support his wife.
Right. Okay.
So Zach says that he's very nervous about going into this conversation with Demi and Jessi. And he says that they can be very aggressive, and he doesn't know if they'll accept his apology, but he's willing to do it for Jen. And Zach thinks that they spread a lot of rumors about him. So Zach saw season 1 and was like, all of what you said, specifically Demi, is a lie about me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so he wants to confront them in this conversation too about that. So apologize, but also like, let's clear the air.
Partially like apologize for what he said that he said he was sorry for, but he's really not sorry for.
Right.
But also be like, Demi, stop spreading lies about me and being a
like,
bitch.
where are you getting this information from? Like, what you said isn't true.
This sounds like it could get interesting.
It does. So as they're getting there, Jessi says, right, girl power of the pussy, as they're getting out of the car. And I'm like, girl, you need to like leave the pussy comments at home. They meet up with Zach, and Zach starts the convo saying that ever since Vegas, there has been this weird contention. He admits that gambling and then complaining about the Chippendales makes him the biggest hypocrite in the world.
Okay, that's fair,
And he tells them that he's grateful for what they said in that moment, and it was transformative for him. He said it allowed him and Jen to have some of the toughest conversations that they've ever had. And then Demi is like confused in an interview because Zach is doing a 180 and she wasn't expecting that. So he's like owning up to that side of it. Like, thank you for pointing out my hypocrisy. Thank you for pointing out where I went wrong. Like, and I admit that I went wrong, and like we're working through that.
Demi was just there to fight.
Yeah, and so they're sitting there like kind of caught off guard. So I think it like eased the tension of the both of them. So it turns into this very honest conversation now. So he kind of like lowered their guard. So again, I don't know if that's Zach knowing what to say to them to like get to this point.
Oh,
but,
right.
But
Okay.
it seems pretty honest at this point. He then does confront Demi. So he says, but Demi, like, you were talking major shit on me.
Right.
And Demi says, I think I was talking major truth and just calling out the behavior. And Zach brings up the fact that Demi said he gambled his medical school tuition away, and he says that was a blatant lie. So Demi and Jessi then tell him that, like, Jen told us that. So we only know what your wife is telling us.
Okay, wow. That's a turn.
So our opinion of you is based off of what she tells us. So Zach says that he doesn't want to bring Jen into this because he wants to take accountability, but when Demi asks, well, is that true or not? Zach says, no, that's a lie. And Demi and Jessi said that they would never make up something like that, and that those little facts went into what they thought about him because they were only hearing things from Jen.
Right. Where's Jen during all this combo?
Not there. She sent Zach on his own. So if this is this lies she's spinning, you just sent two people that you're lying to meet up to talk things out.
Yeah.
If this is true and she is lying, which it kind of, I don't know. I don't know. But like, you just made them connect all the dots.
Yeah, it's strange.
So I don't, like, is she lying? Like, we don't know. So Jessi tells him that Jen uses language that's very alarming and scary, like telling them that he needs to learn how to not to be a narcissist.
Okay.
Zach is definitely thrown off by hearing that Jen has called him a narcissist. And he says, I don't think that that's who I am, and I don't want to be that way, and I don't know why she's using that language. But then it cuts to, like, it keeps cutting to clips of Jen saying all these things, like they have it on camera.
Okay.
So it's like, we're either gonna break, like, one of them was at the Cowboy Pillows event, the influencer event, and she was like, this is either us breaking generational trauma or we're going to be done because he needs to work on these narcissistic traits that he has. So,
wow. Okay.
So, like, she has said these words before. So that's where they're, like, compiling their opinion.
Yeah.
And so Jessi in an interview says that there has always been something about Jen that seemed untrustworthy, and she always comes off not genuine. She says she always put their issues on Zach, but now that she's hearing what Zach has to say, she's second guessing if Jen has been, like, trying to avoid confrontation and she's just not trustworthy as a person.
Right. Okay.
And Zach says that Jen has expressed to her that the girls were so there that night at, like, during Vegas, like, they were so present and, like, there for her, but then afterwards no one reached out to her. And Jessi flips her lid and is pissed. And she's like, I texted Jen. I reached out to her. I sent her a voice memo checking in, and Jen is the one who didn't respond to me. And Zach says that he only has Jen perspective and he needs to take his wife's side. And Demi just says, this sounds like a pattern that we only have Jen's side of things.
Right.
Zach says that he has some tough conversations that he needs to have with his own wife about all of this. And Demi says that if Jen is lying, she needs to be held accountable for all of this.
Okay.
And that's the end of their meetup. So it turned in from them trying to, like, squash their beef and be able to move on to, like,
now we don't know what's going on.
Now we don't know what's happening in this little circle of bullshit. And we see that play out more.
Okay.
But yeah, it just seems like a mess. And I'm like, oh my God, Jen seems like the problem. So we go to Taylor's parents' house, and Taylor shows up for the barbecue, and that's when Taylor's mom tells her that Dakota's coming, and Taylor didn't know he was coming.
Oh boy.
And she goes, do you care if he's coming? And she goes, I don't have the energy to care. And she goes, right. You do care, because if you didn't, you'd be gone by now. Like, you would have left. And I'm like, this is so toxic.
Yeah, let's talk about this and then be like, hey, let's get together.
Yeah,
Not hey, we're having a family event, come on over. Oh, by the way, Dakota's coming.
Yeah. And, like, this isn't just, like, her parents, her and Dakota. This is her parents, her, Dakota, her younger sister, her brother, her brother's girlfriend.
So, like, you're being put on the spot in front of everybody.
Family affair.
It'd be one thing if it was, like, some kind of weird
intervention
with just their parents, and then Dakota shows up.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah, but the whole family's there. It's like, you gotta keep it together.
And the only one that's the saving grace in the situation is her younger sister, and we'll get into it.
Okay.
So Taylor says that ever since she found out about Jenna, she's really been struggling. Her and Dakota have a lack of communication. It has started to affect their co-parenting, which we saw last episode where her mom brought Ever to Taylor's house.
Right,
even though he was still living there at the time.
Yeah.
So her parents ask what she's going to do for Halloween. They kind of, like, try to, like, break the ice while they're waiting for Dakota to get there. So they go, oh, what are you doing for Halloween? And she tells them that she's going to be Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. So this was an important fact because it was something that Sylvia brought up where, like, her dad says things that are kind of, like, ooh, why would you say that to your daughter?
Yeah.
So have you ever seen Mean Girls?
I know the premises.
So Gretchen Wieners is the main, like, mean girl of the Mean Girls. The blonde, tall. So during one of the parties, they had a Halloween party. And so she showed up as a sexy cat. And so when Taylor's mom's like, oh, what are you going to be? And she's like, Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. And her mom's like, oh, yeah. Taylor's dad goes, are you going to be covered? Like sexy Gretchen Wieners or like regular? And she goes, well, I'm going to be in a cat costume, so pretty. Oh, he used the word slutty. Are you going to be a slutty Gretchen Wieners? She goes, well, I'm going to be like a cat, so pretty covered up. And she does, like, it's like a latex skin suit, but like it is all like long sleeves and then covered and like, a little bit of cleavage. But for a 30-something-year-old adult who has a nice body, like, that's fine. Don't be commenting on that about your daughter.
Right.
Like, you know, like,
yeah.
Just, I don't know, that rubbed me the wrong way. Taylor's mom asks who all is going to the party and says that she wishes she could go. Taylor's mom. So Taylor goes, why? So you can be buddy with Chase, who's Miranda's ex. So apparently Leanne is a realtor, and she was Miranda and Chase's realtor that sold them their house. And she still talks to both of them. And I can almost relate to this because she's like, well, why would I be mean to someone that's nice to me? Like, they're nice to me. And her younger sister goes, because they treated your daughter like shit. She's like, I don't understand this. So
I get where you're coming from there.
I feel like there's a common theme with mothers who like just want to be the cool moms that like just want to like, well, they're not mean to me and like I like your friends, so I'm just going to keep being friends with them. Dakota finally shows up and the whole family sits down to eat, and Leanne tells Taylor that she's being really quiet and closed off. And Taylor says that...
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. But Taylor goes, I'm at a loss for words. Taylor's mom asks, you guys are like on and off and on and off. So like, what is it today? And then they both kind of say like, I guess off.
Well, we didn't come together.
Right.
Like, you invited both of us separately.
Taylor's mom says that it's just so exhausting going back and forth. And Taylor's dad says it's obvious that they started their relationship on a foundation of shit.
That's fair.
They both agree to this. They're like, yeah.
Okay.
Taylor's dad then says that they both had a lot of baggage before they started their relationship, and then like Dakota starts to cry. And at this moment when Dakota's like, oh, I always cry at these things, Taylor's brother says, it just shows that you're a good human. Taylor's brother starts to say relationships aren't 50-50, it's 100 on both ends, and it feels like there's a little lacking on one end, and looks at Taylor. Why does this need to be a family affair?
Right, this is a lot.
Taylor says it's going to take her a while to get there, and she's like, that night that I heard he like slept with another girl before we were officially together, I tell him I need space. He leaves, and instead of just like leaving, he goes and hooks up with Jenna.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need time and I need space. And Dakota says that during that time he slept with the other girl, like when he told her that, he had only known Taylor or seen Taylor 2 or 3 times. So he didn't really know Taylor.
Okay.
So it was okay that he slept with Taylor, even though she's like, I still asked for you to leave so I could have space, but then you left and like went up and hooked up with another girl. So I can see Taylor's point. It was like, it wasn't that you slept. I'm not mad at you in this moment about sleeping with the girl. At the time, I was upset that you slept with another girl and I asked you to give me space. You then decided to leave and go to another woman's house.
Right.
Even though you said you wanted to work on this.
Yeah.
So that's what she's focused on, and that's what she just learned happened.
Yeah.
Like last episode, she just learned all this happened. And her whole family is sitting there telling Taylor that she needs to give Dakota grace. And her brother at one point goes, give an inch so he can run a mile. And I'm like, this dude, if I were his girlfriend sitting next to him, I would have been like, I need to fucking leave. I was so over this whole... So at one point, they're like bickering and Taylor's dad interrupts and says, so what I just heard is that after 3 times of him seeing you or knowing you, you slept with a guy. What does that say about you? And points to Taylor. And so at this point, she like loses it. And she goes, I'm saying I was trash. And all of them are like, no, you're not trash. But like, no, you literally brought this girl to gang up on her.
Right.
At this family event with your brother and your younger sister and your parents, and you didn't know your ex was coming.
Yeah,
your son is sitting there in the corner and he starts getting upset. Like, what did you guys expect Taylor to react like?
Right.
So she's in an interview saying what she's hearing is that she deserved this and she deserves what she gets because she gave it up so easily.
Goodness.
So she's like, that's what I'm taking away. And she said, it's hard to hear my parents say this, but I guess I made bad decisions and this is what I get and I should just live with it. Taylor says that she hates herself and Dakota knew that she was at her lowest and he lied. And then Taylor's brother is telling her to sacrifice a little bit so things can get better. And then Taylor and Dakota start yelling at one another, and Taylor's dad gets up and leaves. He is out of this conversation. And
okay.
Taylor's brother's girlfriend gets Ever, their son, before Taylor's dad leaves and takes him away.
Okay.
Of your son doesn't need to be around this.
Yeah.
Even though their son is probably 6 months.
He doesn't know what's going on.
No, but he can feel the tension.
Yeah.
So she takes Ever away so they can have a conversation. Dakota's dad gets up and leaves. Finally, her sister
Taylor's
steps in.
dad gets up and leaves.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Taylor's dad gets up and leaves. Finally, Taylor's younger sister steps in and says, I'm sorry, but at this point, you need to be separated and stay separated. She says that Taylor carries so much guilt with her kids of what happened in the past. And now she has Ever. She cannot do this because he can feel the tension in the house when they're fighting together.
Wow, yeah.
And Taylor agrees. And they need to do what's best for him right now. And right now, that means staying separated. She says, all right. Taylor, you need to stay in therapy, and Dakota, you need to keep working on yourself because this is not it. And she tells Taylor that if God really did bring him into your life, he will bring him back. And Taylor then says, I think God is just punishing me for what I did in the past.
Jeez. Okay. Well, her sister has some sense to her.
Yeah, I was
good.
Thank God this girl is here. So Taylor's mom says that she needs to work in the morning, so everyone needs to leave. And then she goes, but before you leave, can we say a prayer? In her prayer, it's just about Taylor and Dakota and God, please, bring them back together. And I was so over it at this point. And Taylor
that sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I'm if that ever, I would have gotten up and left us, Taylor. I've been I'm not doing this.
This is awkward.
Taylor in an interview says that shutting the door to Dakota right now is not an option because she does love him and she has a lot of feelings for him, and that's why she's in so much pain, but she just needs space.
Right. I think they need some space and work this out.
I think they do. All right, so we're at Jen and Zach's house. Jen says it's important that Zach makes peace with Demi and Jessi because she feels like a lot of the resentment that Jessi and Demi have is because of Zach. Little does she know what's about to come around the corner.
Okay.
So Zach comes back from meeting up with Demi and Jessi.
Yeah.
And tells Jen that it was a little rough. And Zach tells Jen that they have such negative feelings towards Zach because every time they're with Jen, it's all negativity from her standpoint.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
Jen says, are you kidding me right now? Zach continues saying that he clarified a lot of the lies that they said. And they said, well, that's because that's what we heard from Jen.
Right.
Jen's defense is that she hasn't talked to them at all since Vegas. Okay, this happened before Vegas, Jen.
Yeah, this is when you were talking about
yes,
him.
And they never reached out to her. Zach said, well, that's also what they called you out for that. Zach said that the conversation really wasn't about them trying to squash their beef to move on, but rather everyone. And then Jen tries to complete a sentence and goes, against Zach, but rather it was everyone. And then she goes, against Zach, and he goes, no, against you. And Jen is floored. Zach says that he's bummed out because he is very careful about what he says to his best friends. And even though there are negative things that Jen does,
right,
he doesn't bring that to his friends because he doesn't want them to have a negative image of her or the relationship.
Okay, yeah.
Which I think is a fair comment. If you invite someone into your relationship and tell them, they're gonna have some sort of opinion about you or them or the relationship itself. And even though it might not be the right opinion because they're not living the day-to-day, you invited that in.
Right, yeah, you need to be careful on what you...
Right, and who you say it
Absolutely.
to. There's friends where you can trust them, and there's friends you can confide in, and then there's friends that, clearly, you met these people through social media and, you're doing a show with them. Maybe don't delve into every little detail.
Absolutely.
So Jen says that all she's done since Vegas is defend him. And again, I don't think anyone's saying that she hasn't defended him since Vegas. It's all of their opinions of him have been built up leading up to Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. And Vegas was just the tipping point.
Right. And then apparently you guys haven't talked, whether it was them or you or combination.
Right.
So she's saying that she's defended him on social media with her friends. At the same time, she's not defending his actions. She says that she has defended him more times than he can count. And she says that people have tried to make her seem like delusional for doing that.
Okay.
Zach says if you don't trust them, please don't share all the negativity about their marriage.
Yeah, really.
Jen says that the fact that they're saying this makes her so mad, and then Zach tries to chime in and say, like, and then she says, don't speak. You just spoke for 5 minutes. It's my turn. So Jen then admits that there were times she talked negatively about him before Vegas, and Zach says that it's continued. Like he was like, they said that it's continued. And Jen goes, absolutely not. And says, no one has even been a part of my life since Vegas. Jen says that she's triggered because Zach went there to apologize, but now it's turned back on her. She says that she needs to have a conversation with the girls because if they truly valued her as a friend, they wouldn't be trying to turn her against her husband.
There's a lot going on here.
Jen so far has seemed like the problem.
I mean, Zach in the past hasn't seemed like the greatest person.
Yeah.
And like going to New York and be like, you're not going to miss the girl. Like all of that. But it's just like this whole little thing here is just like, what is going on? What are you saying to these girls about him? Like, we know he's not the best person, but like, what, like,
so
I don't know.
Him going to New York, right? So like, if we're thinking this mindset, him going to New York and her being like, do you think I'll miss the girls? If all she's done in their marriage has talked shit about the girls.
Right. Yeah.
Then he'd be like, they're not good friends to you.
Right. No, I get that.
You need to get away from them.
And then
but
she
then
talks
if she
shit
turns around and talks
to them
shit,
about him.
right.
Yeah.
So where
are you at? Yeah.
It's almost like she's spinning this narrative to make Zach seem bad.
Right.
And it's like, who knows what you're saying behind closed doors to your husband of what they're doing. Yeah. And then what are you saying to them about what your husband's doing? Yeah. And so now you have two groups that are mad at one another who aren't going to talk to one another because they hate each other so much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So
it's kind of crazy.
So that ends the Zach and Jen conversation. They left it off as like, we need to have a conversation, the two of us with them, so we can air it all out.
Oh, like...
Yeah.
Like Jen should have been there...
From the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah. I thought she was there, and then she wasn't, and it's just a shitstorm of who said what, and this was said, and okay.
So we cut to Jessi's house. Jessi's house is beautiful, by the way.
Is this a Halloween party?
Yeah. Okay. No. She's getting ready for the Halloween party. It's not a Halloween party.
All right.
She announces that they're gonna have a party and they are gonna have a Chippendales performance starring Brett and Jordan. She thinks that this will be a good thing and allow Zach to show that he has really changed. The pot stirrer keeps stirring that pot. Like, you don't need to have your husbands dance on, and this also comes out, Jen's gonna be the girl on the seat, so their husbands are gonna be dancing on Jen. This isn't now.
This sounds like we're getting into the swinging again.
And also, like, going to Chippendales, you don't know these guys.
Right.
Now,
right. Yeah. Now these are
that
people...
would be if you sat me down in a seat and then people had like their husbands dance on me. I'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, this is weird. This sounds swingy.
So they. The doorbell rings and one of the Chippendale dancers and hosts shows up. So he's going to teach Brett and Jordan how to dance and be a part of the performance with them.
Okay.
Demi says that Brett's going to look so sexy and they may need to implement this at home. Don't get me started. In the meantime, while they're getting like prepared to practice, Demi then asks Jessi if Chase is coming. And Jessi says, I think so. Demi thinks that this is messy because Chase is literally hooked up with everyone. So it comes out that Layla has also hooked up with Chase.
Okay.
So Jessi says that in a normal world, she would have never put these people in the same room, but how are they supposed to get to the bottom of the swinging scandal?
Oh my God.
She says that if Miranda wants to come back into mom talk, she has to be able to tell the truth.
This shit is ridiculous.
Isn't it? Oh my God. Then they start practicing the dance. Jessi announces that Jen is going to be the guest of honor and all the guys are going to give her a lap dance. Also, the worst one of all of them is Jessi's husband, Jordan. He looks like a chipmunk. Like, he looks like a cartoon, and he, like, can't dance at all. He has no rhythm. And I'm like, this is going to be so fucking awkward. So it cuts to a baby store, and Whitney and Connor are going shopping for last-minute baby items. I think that they're going to get, like, a onesie for, like, the hospital.
Okay.
Because it's, like, all Halloween-themed, and the baby's coming at Halloween. The lady at the store goes, oh, when are you due? And she literally says tomorrow. So she's getting induced tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So she's, like, at the end of her pregnancy.
Good. We're not having another...
No.
Season-long pregnancy.
She should have the baby next episode.
Okay, great.
Whitney, in an interview, says that with mom talk, there is some drama and animosity. She says, lucky for her, she can't afford to be in any big drama right now because of the baby. So she's like, God bless. Like, I'm out. I'm gonna have this baby. Which, to me, like, again, like, she's not involved in this drama. They keep making Whitney comments like,
yeah.
Oh, give me Whitney all day, every day. Like, oh, like, I want Whitney and Miranda to go off.
Sounds like she's being like, mature about everything.
It's like, she's off 8 months pregnant. Like, how much drama she could... Anyway, I don't know. So we cut back to Jessi's house, and Jen and Zach show up to talk with Jessi and Demi. Jessi says that between Jen and Miranda, they have been dealing with so many lies and mom talk lately, and that's not a good feeling.
Uh-oh.
And Demi is like, I am so uncomfortable right now. And Jen's eyes, like, bother me the way she, like, looks when she talks to people.
Okay.
So she constantly, like, looks like she's confused, and her face looks like, you know, squinty eye, like, trying to, like, think, like, she's like, that's constantly
how can I get out of this? How can I get around this?
Or, like, that she's constipated. I don't know.
Okay,
like,
that's probably not it, but okay.
But, like, it's just
I get the look.
Like,
I get the look. All right, okay.
And it's like, just stop making that face. Zach starts by saying he told Jen that the girls told him that when Jen's around, she's been negative. Jen says, yeah, let's start there. And then asks Jessi and Demi if they have only heard negative things from her. Jessi then tries to respond to, you know, when someone goes like, and then Jen keeps talking. So Jen continues and says, it feels like for the past 6 months, she's talked about the progress that they've made. And then Jessi again goes, and she tries to say something. And then Jen continues and goes, I had moments where I was like, where I've confided in you because I trust you. And the truth is that our relationship, her and the girls, have been up and down. Jessi then tries to respond again and goes, and Jen continues and saying, I don't feel like it's correct for you to say that all I've ever said is negative things.
Jen's trying to set the narrative here.
Yeah. And so, like, the entire time, like, Jessi's like, okay. I'm like, stop talking, Jen. No one's here to talk. So Demi thinks it's interesting that Jen is so upset that everyone's involved in her marriage, but she was the one that invited people into it.
Right.
It flashes to Jen telling Jessi that they've had days where her and Zach aren't on the same page, and then it flashes to Jen telling the girls that Zach has improved on himself, even having those narcissistic traits. And then Jessi and Demi explain to Jen that their opinion is based off what they hear from her. And Demi brings up that she was being told that Zach gambles the money away that was given to him by his family, and asks for clarification. She goes, is that true or not? And then Jen starts to say something. Well, and then she stops and looks at Zach and goes, maybe you should clarify that.
Oh, okay.
Zach then faces Jen, like, really? Like, his face, like, really? Like, and it clearly looks like they are not on the same page. She goes, yeah. So I think Jen wants to admit that that is true. And then Zach jumps in and goes, that was a lie. And then Jen goes, yeah, that was a lie. And then he goes, I did gamble money behind Jen's back. And, like, Demi is like, what the fuck? Like, that's the biggest reason we were worried about her and her marriage.
Right.
And so Jen's, like, backpedaling, but at first it seemed like, come on, Zach, like, admit that you gambled your family's money away. But then, like, Zach looked at Jen, and then all of a sudden, like, it was flipped. So who's lying here?
Somebody's covering something.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I don't know. Jen then turns it back on the girls and said that if they really had good intentions, they wouldn't have continued to talk bad about her marriage. Demi says that she's constantly tells Jen, like, trust your gut, do what's for you. She's like, I am a majority of the time team figure it the fuck out.
Right.
Zach tells the girls that they may think that they were good friends to Jen, but that's not Jen's reality. And Jen says no one was there for me. And that's when Jessi loses her mind. She goes, I sent you a text. I sent you a voice memo checking in with you. And you ghosted us. And Jen goes, I disagree with that. And Jessi starts she's like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. It's almost like she's like, someone get me my phone, because she doesn't have her phone on her.
Right.
Like,
Let me,
where
are the receipts?
She's like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Jen says that she confided in them and that they took that and told the whole group, and now it's her against the whole group. So she's like, I confided in you guys, but then you went and told everyone. And she mentioned that she could have done that about Demi, about Italy, but she didn't do that. And Demi goes, what about Italy? And Jen just goes, about everything that happened in Italy. And Demi goes, gets defensive. She goes, what happened in Italy? And Jen said that after Italy, Brett was crying to Demi, and Demi says, no, he wasn't. Brett said that everything's fine. Don't worry about it. You did nothing wrong. And Jen looks caught off guard. So Demi in an interview explains that some of the girls took a trip to Italy to go to Vanderpump Villa.
Okay.
And one of the guys, Marciano, was super flirtatious, and she handled it the best that she could, but she didn't do anything wrong, and she never crossed the line. Demi thinks that Jen is grasping at straws, and Demi feels like Jen is trying to deflect the drama of her marriage onto someone else.
Okay, yeah.
And so it does just cut to a scene where, her and this guy are sitting and, laughing, and then they hug, but then that's all they show. I feel like they would have shown, her, making out with him if they had some juice on them.
Okay, yeah.
Jessi says that she was team Jen and Zach for a long time, or team Jen and anti-Zach for a long time, and now she doesn't know what to feel about any of it.
Yeah, this really took, a 180, this episode on
Jen
and Zach, because, yeah, I mean, building up to it, right. Zach was a terrible person. Right. A narcissist, a bad person. Right. And there are still things in my mind of yeah, he's not a saint. He's not a good person, but is he as bad of a person as he was painted throughout season 1 or at least at the end of season 1? Yeah. I don't know. Now I'm torn. Yeah. I don't know which side to take. I don't know. Yeah, this whole episode. So we cut back to Jen and Zach's house, and Jen is trying to come up with an outfit for the Halloween party. After trying on a couple outfits, she convinces Zach that they should be J-Lo and Ben Affleck, because she said that he was second cousins with Ben Affleck. Then continues to say, well, he is your second cousin. And Zach laughs and says, no, he's not. And then Jen starts arguing with him. And he says, if that's what you want to keep telling people. And Jen keeps pushing it and tells Zach that he's not going to make her look stupid, when that's what his family told her in the past. And Zach says, I've only heard that as a joke, and no one has claimed that besides you. Jen then says, how do you say that to someone as a joke when they're being married into the family? This whole conversation made me super uncomfortable. Yeah. Zach in an interview was like, this is Jen's battle, and I'm just going to leave that to Jen to share that perspective, but that's not how I understood it. Yeah. And then even Jen's like, but your grandfather said that you met him, that you guys all met him when he was young. And he's like, yeah, I've heard that too, but I don't know. I don't. And she goes, yeah, well, why wouldn't I want that as a badge of honor? Because I'm Ben Affleck's second cousin. He goes, no, you're not. It's so weird. Jen then asked Zach how he's feeling about the Halloween party, and he said that he's excited and he's going to support Jen, but it's up to Jen if she thinks that these are good friends or not. Zach said that he personally does not want to continue this conversation with them, and he doesn't really have an intention of being close with the girls, but if Jen wants to be, then he'll support that. Okay. So we finally get to Jessi's Halloween party. Jessi has professionals setting up everything. Oh, wow. This is legit. Yeah, there's people all over the place setting up for this Halloween party. Okay. Jessi and Jordan are also dressing up as J-Lo and Ben Affleck. And Jessi's has a joke. Jessi says that Jen is probably not going to be too happy about their outfit, but how is she supposed to know that they're going to get into a big fight before this party? And then evil laughs. She's like, ha ha ha.
like you knew that was gonna poke buttons again. Like,
yeah,
three times this episode where you have intentionally stirred the pot.
Yeah,
between inviting all those people, getting this Chippendales, and now dressing as Jen and Ben Affleck. Like,
even last episode and before, like, Jessi just does not seem like
she loves
the greatest
drama.
person.
She wants the drama.
Yeah.
She loves the drama. So, yeah.
All right.
So the girls and their boyfriend/husbands start showing up. Layla and her boyfriend Camera show up, and they're Formula One drivers. A bunch of other people start getting there that we don't know or don't hear about. Like, it's like a giant party.
Okay.
Not just mom talk. And then, shocker, Dakota and Taylor are fighting, so they aren't going to come together. Jessi says that, like, she's telling Layla, like, oh yeah, they got into a fight, but Jordan called Dakota, and Dakota's like, it's just really hard for me to be around Taylor right now. And he goes, well, it's a big party, so don't be around Taylor.
Oh, like it's big enough to like spread out and not even be around her?
So Jessi then says, like, you guys had a baby together, you can be at a party together. Like, okay, like, maybe
they're
not.
working through some issues right now.
Maybe not. Maybe that's not the best idea for them to see one another.
They were just at Taylor's parents' house, and they didn't need to be there together. They need some space.
And then Layla goes, they need to grow up. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know. All these girls are very judgmental when it comes to one another, and then, like, want all the grace in the world when it comes to their own personal issues. And it's like, if you want grace, you have to give grace. So maybe work on that a little.
Right.
On all sides of this friend group. So Taylor shows up, and she shows up as Gretchen Wiener. Jacob and Macy show up. So, like, they plan, like, a whole, like, group outfit. So Jacob and Macy show up as Regina George and Aaron Samuels, other characters of Mean Girls. Michaela and Jace show up as Karen and then the burn book, which was a big part. So I liked Jace's outfit because he was just one big burn book. Brett and Demi show up, and Brett is a milkman and Demi is fruity cereal.
My goodness.
Jessi then admits to Taylor that Dakota, Chase, and Miranda are all coming, and Taylor doesn't know why she would do that. Miranda and Jacob show up as Krusty Krabs. So she's like a crab, and then he's holding a Krusty Krab pizza.
Okay.
And so
interesting.
Her outfit was so funny. Like, she has a giant crab head on her head and, like, claws that she like she's not going for sexy, she's going for funny.
Okay.
Even whereas, like, Demi as Fruity Cereal has, like, a giant Fruity Cereal, but then, like, has, like, a sheer bodysuit underneath where her whole butt is showing. So, like, she's going for, like, the funny but sexy, whereas, like, Miranda just looks like she doesn't give a fuck. Like, she's like, I'm here for a good time.
Okay.
Miranda says that she's really happy that she got invited to the party, and she hopes that she can, like, grow her friendships at this party.
Wait, and who's she there with?
It said Jacob. We don't hear if that's her boyfriend or friend. Maybe seems more of like a friend. She didn't want to go alone, kind of thing. Yeah.
Because she's recently divorced. She's trying to get back in as a single mother.
Yeah. Well, her ex shows up with his girlfriend, so I think.
Oh my god! Right, Chase.
Yeah, Chase shows up with.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I don't know if they're dating or maybe casually dating or maybe they're just friends and she didn't want to come alone. So they don't.
Just add more names to the pot for me to try and remember.
You can forget his name. You can forget his name for now. He doesn't matter.
Okay.
So Jen and Zach show up as JLo and Ben. Zach in an interview says that Jessi likes to stir shit, clearly, and thinks that this is another jab at him and Jen at their expense, and doesn't really see the reason why she needed to do that.
Okay.
So they're not very thrilled that Jessi decided to dress up as, like, it just seems like a joke that they weren't involved with, you know?
Right. Well, were they involved with inviting everybody else that shouldn't be there?
No.
Are they okay with all that?
I don't think that they give a fuck about that, but no, they weren't involved in that.
All right.
Yeah.
A little jab on you is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's just...
Let's move along.
Yeah, but she knew it was going to upset them. Like, I think that's the thing, is, like, I know this is going to upset them.
She is. Yeah, she's...
So Dakota shows up, and he's the school bus that hits Regina George at the end of the movie. So Michaela says, I had the brilliant idea for Dakota to be the school bus that hits Regina George. So he shows up, and his shirt just says, pretend that I'm a school bus, and it has, like, a school bus like front of it.
It's just... Come on, put a little more effort into it.
I know, I wanted, like, a 3D school bus.
Some cardboard together, spray painted yellow, look like a bus. Come on.
So all the girls, like, when everyone gets there, just like stressed. They're like there's all these people here. This is just not the group. Like they're just like freaking out. And then Chase and Kate show up, and they're dressed as Justin and Hailey Bieber. And to put in perspective, Chase, you know how Justin kind of comes off like an asshole in like all photos or anything he does in like the media? Like he just like looks like a grungy person that's just like,
right.
That is who this guy is. Like he's like, he looks like an asshole. He looks like he fits that bill. He looks like he doesn't give a fuck. Like, so Michaela tells Taylor not to look behind her. There's a douchebag behind her. And then Taylor goes, how many? And Michaela goes, a lot. So Chase approaches Dakota to say hi. And so apparently they don't get along. And Dakota says in an interview that he thought it was weird that Chase came up and said hi and gave him a hug. He says, though, that since Taylor's pissed at him, he's trying to be cordial and be on his best behavior, so he's not going to start problems.
Okay.
So he's trying to be nice, so they start talking. Chase tells Dakota that he doesn't understand why they hate each other so much. Chase then asks Dakota, did Taylor ever tell you that we fucked? Because that's not true. And Dakota says, no, I know it's not true. Like, that never happened. And then Chase explains that when Taylor went online and he didn't tell his parents anything and he was returning from a missionary, he hadn't told them that he left the church. And so he said, so at that time, all he could think of was to deny, because he wasn't prepared to face his own reality with his family.
Okay.
He said that if he could go back and change things, he would. And then he starts pointing at Taylor as he's saying, like, I wish I could tell her that. And, like, pointing at her from across the room.
Okay.
Super off-putting to me.
Yeah.
Super off-putting, even if you're talking about someone, like, to be like, I wish I could tell her, like, the truth.
Let's not point at people.
Seems very dramatic. So Taylor is like, they're pointing at me. I'm going to go confront him. So she walks across the room.
That's fair.
And she goes, what are you saying about me?
Yeah.
Chase tells Taylor that she brought up the lowest of his low in the life, so in return, he's going to bring up the lowest of her life. And Taylor says, what was the lowest of your life? And he goes, being a swinger. And she goes, that was the lowest point? And he goes, yeah. She goes, oh, okay, like, I don't agree with that, but sure. And he goes, well, what was my lowest? And Taylor goes, I'm not going to say for your sake.
Oh. And
so Dakota says, don't bring it up if you're not going to say it. So this conversation starts to like escalate, and it's like building, it's building. And this entire time, Chase is pointing this, to the point where his girlfriend, who comes up and tries to like stop this conversation, pulls him aside and goes, stop pointing at her. So even her girlfriend is like, that's rude and don't do that. So this conversation escalates, and Chase says, let's go truth for truth. And Taylor goes, sure. And Chase asks Taylor, did you have a sex dream about me? And she goes, yeah, I did have a sex dream about you. And he goes, then tell the camera that, and points at the camera. And she goes, I already did.
Right.
And Chase's girlfriend's not happy about this. Then Taylor goes, and what did you tell me at the gym? And Chase says that I also had a sex dream about you. And Taylor's like, that's an absolute lie. So this isn't truth for truth. That's not what you told me at the gym, which is when he told her that he had feelings for her.
Right.
And that's what people are saying Taylor lied about. And she's like, then we're not doing truth for truth. In this moment, even Dakota goes, dude, like, I can tell you're lying. Like, your whole demeanor just changed.
Yeah.
And so so Taylor's like, fine, fucking listen to him now. You're going to listen to a liar. And Dakota's like, I'm not trying to listen to him. He just came up to talk to me. So all of this is, like, escalating because Dakota's trying to, like, smooth things over to Taylor while Taylor's yelling at Chase, thinking that, and then Taylor's thinking that Dakota and Chase are trying to be buddy-buddy. So, like, at one point, Taylor just starts, like, lying, like, you're a liar. So Jessi, Demi, Brett, and Jordan are all upstairs getting ready for this Chippendale
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And they hear
what we need now.
Yelling downstairs. And, like, Taylor's yelling. And so they are like, what the fuck? Like, they're upstairs, they're showing the guy with the Chippendale, and they're in the mirror, like, practicing, and, like, all of a sudden they hear, like, Taylor yelling in the background.
So, is this from the intro to the first episode where Taylor's in a Halloween costume yelling, like, fuck you, or something? Okay.
Yeah, so that's where this is leading, and it ends with like kind of almost a preview where the cops get called.
Oh, okay.
And so
nothing new for Taylor.
It just yells
and
upstairs
Dakota.
where Jessi, the cops got called, and like it ends with all of them in chaos. And Chase's girlfriend Kate is just bawling her eyes out, telling Miranda like, "I feel stupid. I just want to go home." And keep in mind, Miranda is Chase's ex-wife. Kate is his girlfriend. And Miranda just looks like she has so much empathy for this girl and is just like hugging her.
Oh my.
Like she feels bad. So that's the end of
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Season 2, episode 2 ends there. We'll pick up the drama next week.
Yeah. Yeah, at the Halloween party.
Still at the Halloween party. Okay. Yeah, and the cops are on their way.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, should be fun. Yeah, we'll pick it up there.
Yeah.
No, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping my interest going. Not watching this shit, but still going along. No, this is a good one. We appreciate everybody for listening. If you can like, subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, whatever you can do on the podcast platform that you're listening on, we would appreciate it. It helps us out. If you want to drop us a line, a comment, a question, Michelle said we're going to be doing something new for our short special episodes for a few weeks. If you have any ideas for us, drop us an email, realityhitsmatt@gmail.com. That's just one T and MAT. Same, with Instagram and TikTok. Follow us there. Mm-hmm. That's at realityhitsmatt, MAT, on Instagram and TikTok. We got some TikToks up now.
Yeah, we're gonna keep posting
trying to get a little more get a little more active in the social media with the reels and the shorts and the TikToks and all that. But we appreciate everybody listening, and we're just gonna keep trucking along with Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and maybe add a little more, like Michelle was saying. I don't know what she was saying, but she's gonna tell me about some shit, and I'll just keep listening and reacting, and we'll go from there. So thanks everybody.
Thank you.